Before the emergence of the simple modern toilet paper we know today, humanity resorted to the strangest possible methods to handle personal hygiene after using the bathroom. For thousands of years, humanity solved this basic problem with whatever was at hand. In ancient Rome, public bathrooms used a sponge tied to a wooden stick called a tersorium, washed in salt water or vinegar, and reused by multiple people throughout the day. In ancient Greece, broken pieces of pottery served this function. In coastal regions around the world, seashells and seaweed were common. In medieval Europe, leaves, straw, and even wool served this purpose. There was no standardization because there were no sanitation systems like the ones that exist today. And this made human waste disposal a constant problem in cities, a problem that, without anyone knowing, was about to get much worse. Paper itself had existed for a long time. It was invented in China around 100 BC, but it took centuries before it was associated with personal hygiene. The earliest records of paper used specifically for this purpose date back to the 6th century. By the 14th century, production was so advanced that the Chinese imperial court consumed more than 700,000 sheets of toilet paper per year just for the use of the royal family. Meanwhile, on the other side of the world, Europe still relied on improvised materials. The reason was simple: paper was expensive. Producing it on a large scale, only to discard it after a single use, made no economic sense. This reality only began to change in 1857, when Joseph Gayetty, a businessman from New York, launched the first commercial toilet paper in the United States. He named the product Gayetty's Medicated Paper, sold in flat, loose sheets, quite different from the roll we know today. Each sheet was infused with aloe vera, and the product was advertised as a treatment for hemorrhoids, not as a common hygiene item. Gayetty was so confident in his invention that he printed his own name on every single sheet, a way of guaranteeing that no one would doubt the medicinal origin of the product. Still, the product didn't take off as expected. The reason was simple: people already had a free alternative in hand. Old newspapers and mail-order catalogs arrived almost every month and worked well enough that most people saw no reason to pay for something they already had for free. The Sears catalog, in fact, became so associated with this alternative use that some editions came with a pre-punched hole in the corner, allowing it to be hung on a string inside the bathroom. It took more than 3 decades for the real revolution in the industry. In 1890, the Scott Paper Company, founded by the Scott brothers in Philadelphia, introduced the format that would change the market: continuous perforated roll toilet paper. Unlike Gayetty's loose sheets, the roll allowed people to use exactly the amount they needed, tearing along the perforation line without waste. Except this first generation still had a rather uncomfortable technical problem. Wood pulp refinement at the time didn't fully eliminate small splinters on the paper's surface. This problem wouldn't be fully resolved until the 1930s, when advances in manufacturing finally allowed for a softer, more uniform paper, giving rise to the product we recognize today. The reason the product truly took off wasn't comfort, it was infrastructure. In the early 20th century, indoor plumbing began to spread through American homes, and this created a new technical problem. Sewage systems needed a material that would dissolve quickly in water. Newspapers clogged pipes, cloths and fabrics clogged them even worse. Toilet paper, on the other hand, was developed specifically to break down easily. And here's what most people don't realize: this small object didn't just bring comfort, it helped save lives on a population-wide scale. In the 19th century, cities grew too fast for existing infrastructure. Open sewage, contaminated water, waste in the streets. All of this created perfect conditions for epidemics. Cholera, typhoid fever, and dysentery spread through contaminated water and lack of basic sanitation, killing people by the thousands. Nobody fully understood germs yet, but everyone knew something had to change. The solution wasn't a single product, it was an entire system. Underground sewer networks, water treatment, and materials that wouldn't clog this new infrastructure. Toilet paper fit perfectly into that system, precisely because it was designed to dissolve, unlike everything used before it. This shift was part of a much larger public health transformation, one that helped dramatically increase life expectancy in cities. Alongside treated water and basic sanitation, civilization quietly stabilized itself. And that role in your bathroom is a direct part of that history. Now fast forward to 2020. In the midst of uncertainty, during the early days of a global pandemic, supermarket shelves around the world went empty of one single product, toilet paper. It happened in different countries, in different cultures, almost at the same time. Why that particular item? It's not food. It's not medicine, but it's visible, it's tangible, it's immediate. It represents control over one of the most basic needs of human life. When people feel like the systems around them are fragile, they don't just buy the essentials, they seek psychological security. And the run on toilet paper revealed something deeper. Modern life depends entirely on invisible systems working flawlessly. When those systems feel unstable, human instinct is to go back to the basics. Food, water, and yes, toilet paper, because despite all the technology and all the progress we've built, we're still worried about the same thing that worried the very first humans: how to live with safety, health, and dignity. If you enjoyed discovering the hidden history behind such a common object, subscribe to the channel. Comment below which everyday object you'd like us to investigate in the next video.